Hold on to your cheesesteaks, folks, because things just got real interesting in Pennsylvania. The state Supreme Court, in a move that surprised absolutely no one paying attention, just ruled on those pesky, misdated mail-in ballots. You know, the ones that have been causing more drama than a season finale of The Real Housewives of Philadelphia? Yeah, those. Turns out, if you forgot to scribble the date on your ballot envelope, your vote is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. This isn't just some bureaucratic technicality, though. Oh no, this is Pennsylvania, where elections are tighter than a pair of skinny jeans after a Thanksgiving feast. We're talking about a state where a few thousand votes can make the difference between a victory speech and a concession call. And with the Senate race still up for grabs, this ruling could be the political equivalent of a Hail Mary pass. The court's decision has sent shockwaves through the political landscape, igniting debates and discussions across the state. Voters are now more aware than ever of the importance of following every little rule when it comes to mail-in ballots. Community organizations are stepping up their efforts to educate voters on the proper way to fill out and submit their ballots. Workshops and town hall meetings are being held to ensure that everyone knows the do's and don'ts of mail-in voting. Pennsylvania has a rich history of close elections, and this latest ruling is just another chapter in its storied electoral saga. From the early days of the Republic to the modern era, the Keystone State has always played a pivotal role in shaping the nation's political landscape. The state's political figures, both past and present, have always understood the significance of every single vote. Campaigns are ramping up their efforts, going door to door, and making sure that their supporters are fully informed and ready to cast their ballots correctly. Volunteers are working tirelessly, making phone calls, distributing campaign signs, and ensuring that every potential voter is reached. The energy is palpable, and the stakes have never been higher. As the election day approaches, all eyes are on Pennsylvania. The secure collection and storage of ballots have become a top priority, with officials taking extra precautions to ensure the integrity of the vote. News outlets are providing round-the-clock coverage, and the nation is watching closely. Every vote counts, and every voter's voice matters. So, Pennsylvanians, make sure your vote is counted. Follow the rules, double-check your ballots, and let your voice be heard in this crucial election. Now, for those of you who haven't been glued to Pennsylvania election law, and who could blame you, here's the SparkNotes version of the drama. After the 2020 election, when mail-in voting became more popular than a Wawa hoagie fest, some folks noticed a few ballots with missing or incorrect dates. Cue the legal eagles, lawsuits were filed, arguments were made, and the whole thing ended up in the lap of the state Supreme Court. The court's decision? Basically, a big fat nope to counting those misdated ballots. Their reasoning? The law's the law, even if it's about as clear as a glass of Yuengling after a long day. But let's rewind a bit and dive deeper into the nitty-gritty. The controversy started when a significant number of mail-in ballots were flagged for having either missing or incorrect dates. This wasn't just a minor clerical error, it had the potential to impact the election results. The stakes were high, and both sides of the political spectrum were ready to battle it out in court. Lawyers representing various interest groups quickly jumped into action, filing lawsuits to either include or exclude these ballots. The arguments presented were complex, involving interpretations of state law, voter intent, and the integrity of the election process. The state Supreme Court had to weigh these factors carefully. After much deliberation, the court ruled that the ballots with incorrect or missing dates could not be counted. Their decision was based on a strict interpretation of the law, emphasizing the importance of following legal procedures to the letter. This ruling sparked a lot of debate and controversy, with some arguing that it disenfranchised voters, while others believed it upheld the integrity of the election. In the end, the decision highlighted the complexities and challenges of modern elections, especially in an era where mail-in voting is becoming increasingly common. And so, the saga continues with each election bringing new lessons and legal battles. So, how does this all play out in the real world? Well, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of it all. For starters, the Senate race just got a whole lot more interesting. It's not just a race, it's a nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat thriller. We're talking about a contest so close you could probably measure the margin of victory in Wawa coffee cups. Imagine the tension, the anticipation as every single vote is counted. Every vote counts, especially those from folks who remember to date their envelopes. It's a small detail, but it can make a huge difference in such a tight race. Now, some folks are saying this ruling is a win for one side or the other. The debates are heated, the opinions are strong, and everyone has something to say. But honestly, the only real winners here are the lawyers who bill by the hour. They're the ones who truly benefit from the endless legal battles and recounts. Everyone else is just along for the ride, clinging to their democracy like a Liberty Bell keychain. It's a wild journey, full of ups and downs, but it's a ride we all have to take together. In the end, it's not just about who wins or loses. It's about the process, the engagement, and the collective experience of participating in democracy. So buckle up, because this race is far from over. Section 4. The reactions lawyers, politicians, and that guy on Twitter. As you can imagine, the reactions to this ruling have been about as subtle as a Liberty Bell ringing in your living room. Lawyers are high-fiving, or maybe just exchanging polite handshakes. They are lawyers, after all. Politicians are spinning the narrative faster than a Philly soft pretzel maker. And that guy on Twitter who always seems to be yelling about something? Yeah, he's still yelling. But hey, that's democracy in action, folks. Messy, confusing, and occasionally punctuated by a court ruling that leaves everyone scratching their heads. Section 5, TikTok, Pennsylvania. The recount looms. So what's next for the Keystone State? Well, get ready for a recount, folks. That's right, we're going back to the ballot boxes, or at least the secure rooms where they store the ballots, to make sure every vote is counted. Think of it as a political do-over, only with slightly less drama, hopefully. The deadline for this recount extravaganza is coming up fast, and the pressure is on. Will it change the outcome of the election? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, it'll give us all something to talk about besides the Eagles' latest game. Section 6, the moral of the ballot box. Every vote counts, maybe. So what have we learned from this whole misdated ballot debacle? Well, for starters, it's probably a good idea to double-check your mail-in ballot before you send it in. You know, just to make sure you're not accidentally disenfranchising yourself because you forgot to write the date. But on a more serious note, this whole situation highlights just how important every single vote really is. In a state like Pennsylvania, where elections are won and lost by the slimmest of margins, even a few hundred misdated ballots can make a difference. Section 7, and the winner is? We'll get back to you on that. As of right now, the Senate race is still too close to call. The recount is underway, the lawyers are circling, and the political pundits are working overtime. It's anyone's guess who will come out on top. But hey, that's democracy for you. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it keeps us all on the edge of our seats. And who knows, maybe by the time this whole thing is over, we'll even know who won the election. Maybe.